What's up, everyone? Today we're talking about our brains and the different areas of the brain, what's happening in the brain, how we process information, as well as what detracts or commandeers what we call the high road. Let's check it out. So let's talk about what we call the low road and the high road. We're going to focus in on the low road first. And a way that I can do that is talking about my really good friend, Amy. And being from a south suburb of Chicago, we have different phrases or names for people that are really good for us. And we call them our G, we call them money, we call them Dala. And Amy was all of that for me. Anytime I experienced fear, anxiety, stress, or threat, like Amy was there to keep me physically safe. And sometimes she stuck around a little too long. I suffered from test anxiety growing up. I was in the classroom and I understood everything that the teacher was saying. I was able to do the homework. I was able to have conversations with people that I was working with, and I understood it. But the second that piece of paper came off with the word test at the front, my brain would just completely go blank. And Amy was there because I was experiencing this anxiety. And Amy was there to see if I was physically safe, but she was there for 50 minutes of the class period. And by the time I finished, there was nothing on the page, and I failed the test. And sometimes Amy could do that. And I know she's done that for you as well. Sometimes, whether that be like relationships with friends, relationships with family, difficult conversations, change. Sometimes change comes up and Amy is there to keep you safe, but she stays there too long. And yes, I'm talking about your Amy and my Amy because we're talking about the same thing. Amy G Dala, which is your amygdala. And that is what's responding anytime you experience fear, anxiety, stress, or threat. And the way it responds is through fight, flight, or freeze. Now that's talking about the low road of our brain, but how do we get to the high road of the brain? And part of that is going through the initial process of taking information from visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning channels into your thalamus. From the thalamus, it gets sent immediately to the high road and low road. Now, if Amy G is good and the situation is great, it then relaxes and goes to the high road. And the high road then starts processing information of your visual, which is in the back of your head, so your visual cortex. All visual information gets processed back there. Or your temporal lobes, which are directly above your ears. Think about temples. So your temporal lobe, all auditory information is processed here. And then a motor cortex where all your kinesthetic information is being processed. And think of it as like a headband going from one ear to the other. And that's where your motor cortex is. Now, once all that information gets processed visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically, it then goes to your prefrontal lobe. And there is, we call it our CEO of the brain. It's where working memory, higher order thinking, reasoning skills, risk versus reward. When all of that is there, when our energy is here and buzzing, now we can think clearly and figure out and assess the problem. This is where we want to be when we're taking the test. We don't want to be hanging out with Amy. We want to be hanging out with our prefrontal lobe. So think about this. Where are areas in your life where you start to realize that Amy is taking control? And what are some strategies that you could do to help your brain relax? For me, it's queuing up, pulling up a picture, breathe and release. Or it's exercising, it's journaling, it's listening to music, it's talking to friends. That helps me relax so I can give the power back to the prefrontal lobe. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Share it with somebody that you think would get benefits from this. And enjoy our next couple of refreshers. We'll see you later. Peace.